Hello, everyone. I hope you all are good. I'm making this video to support your practice for the final exam, and I hope it helps. So I'm going to share my screen. The first document I'm going to share with you is going to be a Word document. So that is where I'm going to get the data from that I'm going to enter into Access database. So I want you to open up the Microsoft Word document, have it opening maybe on your phone or your tab or any device that you have. So you have to open this up because I'm going to be getting my information from this document. So all we're going to do is how to create tables in Access. So the next screen you're going to see will be the Access database. And this Access database, we're going to input the information from that Microsoft Word into this platform. So I hope you all follow along. Yeah. So here we're going to create two tables. The first table is product table, which is on the Microsoft Word document. And the second one is the sales order table. So there's an instruction at the top, which I'm going to read out. We have to modify the information below to account for the relationship that you need to create. Each product can be ordered on many sales orders. So we're going to create the products table. You'll notice that we have field, data type, as well as other criteria. So when you want to create table in Access, the first thing you have to consider is the data type. You choose the data type, then you input the field name. So that's what we're going to do now. Here, there's a drop-down arrow here. I'm going to click on it. And I'm going to choose the data type, which is short text. And I'm going to type in the product ID as the field name. The next column there, I'm going to choose the data type, which is short text again, and the field name is description. And we have another column, which is price, and the data type is currency. So I'm going to type in price as the field name. So that's it done. I'm going to try to save this by closing the table, and it's going to prompt me to save changes. Yes, and give me the opportunity to add the table name, products. Okay. So now we have products table. The next thing we are going to do with the products table is to set criteria. So I'm going to open the products table up and go to the back end. So how do I go to the back end? I click on view, and you will notice this ID here with the key symbol somewhere, and the data type is auto number. I did not create this. So all you have to do is to remove this row. And how do you do that? You right click and you delete row. Yes. And the criteria that I'm going to work on, it says set product ID as a primary key. How do I do that? I right click, and the first thing I'm going to see here is primary key. I'm going to click on it, and the key symbol is going to come just right next to product ID, which is what I want. And for description, it says set as required. All I want to do is I want to create a caption for the description. So I'm going to go down and look for caption. Where you have general, you look for caption, click on it and say product description. Write in full, product description. And that's it done. How do I save this? I'll just close the table and it's going to be saved. Close. Yes. So that's product table sorted. The next thing we're going to do is to create the sales order table. So you go just right next to the Home tab, you see create, you click on it, and you're going to see table. Click on table. So now we have a new table here. We're going to first work on the data type, then the field name. The data type here is auto number, but when you check the drop down menu, you will notice that it has no auto number. So I'm going to choose number for now, and I'm going to change it to auto number when I go to the back end. So I label the field SO. The next one, it says short text. I click on short text, and the field name is supplier. The next column there is phone. So it's short text, and I click on phone. The next is quantity, and it says it's number. So I look for number, then I type in quantity. And we have payment terms. Payment terms is short text. And the next we have order date. Order date, the data type is date. So here you have date and time. You also have date and time extended. So I'm just going to choose the first one, which is date and time. I'm going to label that order date. And lastly, we have sold. The data type is yes or no. So I'm going to look for yes or no here. Click on yes or no. And the field name is sold. So that's it done. I'm going to save it just like I did with the product table. I'm going to try to close it. Yes, and I'm going to label that table SO. Okay. So now I want to set criteria for the SO table, which is sales order table. Click on it. And I'm going to go to the back end. So for the sales order table, you will notice from the Word document that it has different criteria that you must set. So we have to take out the ID first. So you right click and delete the row. Yes. And here you'll notice the data type is number instead of auto number. So I'm going to change this to auto number by clicking the drop down arrow by the side. So it's giving me the option of auto number. I'll click on it. And I'm also going to set it as primary key. I'll just go there, right click and click on primary key. So the supplier, yeah, short text, so it's right. Phone, it says it's short text, but use an input mask. To use input mask, you have to go to where we have general lookup. You look for input mask, which is the third item there, input mask. So when you try to click on this, it's going to give you option of like a drop down. You can see the 3 dots here. So you click on it and it's going to prompt you to save the table first. You click yes. When you save the table, then it's going to give you the input mask wizard. So you have to choose phone number and click next. Then click next. Then it's going to give you the opportunity to save your data the way you want it. So the first one is with the symbols and the mask like this, or without the symbols and the mask. I'm going to choose with the symbol in the mask because that's what looks right to me. next, and finish. So that's it done. The next thing here is quantity. So we have quantity and it says number. Yes, but it says 0 decimals. 0 decimals. How do you do that? So you have to go down to where we have general again and look for the decimal places because it's number decimal places. So it's giving us an automatic selection. You have to click on this to give you a drop down. So you'll be able to change it to 0. That's how to have 0 decimal. And the next thing you're going to do there, it says, don't allow negative values. It says, don't allow negative values. And how do you do that? You're going to first set what is known as validation rule. Validation rule. So under validation rule, you click on that and you say, I want something that is greater than or equal to 0. That's what I've typed there, greater than or equal to 0. So when you state your validation rule as this, it means you are not going to allow any value that is less than 0, which is -1, -2, or what have you. So that's that done. You go to payment terms. Under payment terms, the instruction we have is look up, see number 3 below. So you have to check below the table, the Microsoft Word document that you have with you. And number 3 says create a lookup for the payment terms, which is what we can do here. So you have to go to short text and the drop down arrow there, you look for what is known as lookup wizard. So you see just after calculated below here, click on that. And it's going to ask you, do you want to get the lookup values from a table? No, that's not what I want to do. I want to type in the value. So the second one looks like more like what I want to do. So you click on that and next. So now it's going to give you the opportunity to enter different values here. And because I have the values under number 3 in my Microsoft Word, so I'm just going to fill that in. So I have net 15 as the first value. The next one I have 3 out of 10 days. The next I have net 20. And I also have 2 out of 10. I have net 30. I also have 1 out of 10 days. And lastly, net 45. So you must have all of this and next. So here it says, do you want to limit entries to the choices? I'm going to say yes and finish. So order date. Order date, the instruction there, which is the criteria that you have to set, it says set default to today's date. Okay. And don't allow entry of future dates. That's what it says. So order date, you have to go down because that is where you have different options. That is where you can set validation rule because that's what this is all about. So the default value, it says set default to today's date. It means our default value is equal to date. Then you open parentheses and close it. So it's like open bracket and close bracket. That's all I've done there. Then it says don't allow entry of future dates. So I'm going to set a parameter and say it must be less than or equal to the date. Less than or equal to today's date because it says don't allow entry of future dates. So it's going to be less than or equal to today's date. That's what that means. So sold, I don't have to do anything. Then I try to close this and it's going to help me save it. So that's what I've done. I've created product table as well as sales order table. The next thing I'm going to do is to create relationship between the two tables. The instruction in the Word document says create the proper relationships between the two tables, use supplier and product ID. So how do you create relationship? You go to database tools, and under relationships, you're going to click on relationships. You see that? And here is asking which tables should we add. So you can either add the product table, or you can hold on to your control and say, I want products and SO. It's going to highlight the two and say add table. So you're going to have the two tables at the same time. Depending on whether you are depending on the windows that you use, its code prompts you to do it in different ways. So please be mindful of that. Don't panic when you see that. So we have SO and products, and it says the relationship will be between supplier and product ID. So what you're going to do is you're going to move the supplier. You're just going to do something like dragging. So you drag supplier to product ID, and it's going to give you a dialog box. In the dialog box, you have to click on Enforce Referential Integrity, and you create. When you do that, you'll notice that the relationship has been created automatically. So this is how to create tables in Access database, and I hope this helps. Please do not forget that the information we have here is from the Microsoft Word document I shared when we started. Thank you.